You're welcome to another educative episode of Healthwatch. Millions of women in Nigeria and across the world battle a common, often unspoken medical condition known as uterine fibroids. That will be our focus on today's episode of the program. And today we brought you an interesting guest who has been through a lot. She's been on this journey and she is a fibroid support advocate. You'll get to meet her if you don't go anywhere. Plus, we have a feature on miscarriage. My name is Nkem or Kibe, and you know I'd love to do this with you every week. We'll go on a commercial break. When we return, Healthwatch, continue to stay with us. If you're just joining us, the program is Healthwatch, reaching you from the station of excellence, NTA Lagos Channel 10. And my guest today is Mrs. Toyin Taiwo. She is the founder of Feminine Health and Fibroid Support Network. She's been on this journey and she's a survivor. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for having me.
So lovely.
Thank you so much.
I'd also like to say that she flew in from UK, all the way from UK to support us here and also to create awareness on this issue. Talking about fibroid, what is fibroid?
So fibroids are benign, non-cancerous tumors that you find in the uterus, sometimes outside the uterus, inside or outside the uterus. So they're non-cancerous, benign tumors, that found themselves in the uterus.
So what would you say are the causes?
So there's no one knows the causes of fibroids. Everyone's got the different things to say around. It could be hereditary. Some people say it's mostly black women have it. Even though the Caucasians, the white people have it as well, but it's not as high a number as the black women. So there's also research going on around how the skin, our skin color, how we absorb collagen. So some people say it's because of the skin color. Also, there's also work around lifestyle, the kind of food that we eat, and all of those kind of things. So the different variation of what can cause fibroids. So no one knows specifically what's causing fibroids.
What would you say are the warning signs? What are the signs you would see? Because it's important that people also know what signs.
What to look out for. Absolutely, I agree. Heavy bleeding, period bleeding, it is one of the signs, but you wouldn't know what's heavy for you. I mean, once you see a change in your flow, you want to have a look, you want to see, but maybe not just that, a combination of other things as well. Big abdomen, pressure around, always wanting to go to the toilet, really severe abdominal pain, severe period pain, those are warning sign that there's something that's not right. You want to have it checked out.
Does it cut across a particular age group? Is it just for only women of the reproductive age, or young women too? So
there's a research that says that is women between black, women between 20 and 50 in their lifetime, up to 80% will have fibroids. So, yeah. So I want to say between 20 and 50. Well, by the time you're menopausal, you might still have fibroid, but the advantage is when you at menopause is that they start to shrink. But until then, if you're in the reproductive age when you're trying for children and all of that, you want to do something about it. So between 20 and 50 is usually the age, and this says up to 80% of women will have it. And that's a big number. And some people are fortunate, they're not symptomatic. That means it's there, but it's not troubling them. It's not in the wrong places. It's just small sizes that's not hindering anything. But some other people are symptomatic, and they have the very heavy bleeding, the severe period pain, abdominal pain, frequent urination, big abdomen, all of that. So those are things to look out for, and just want to make sure you have yourself checked out.
Yeah, I'm really glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
I would like you to share your experience or your journey and how you got out of it.
So I first knew that I had fibroid. I was about 23, 24 when I was first told that I had fibroid. So heavy period, really heavy period that I've had. I used to have, not anymore. I used to have, and severe abdominal pain, And it was really bad that sometimes I would go to the hospital. So at some point, the doctor who was working with me said, okay, let's just do a scan. Let's find out what's going on.
Okay.
And I was told, I think I was almost 24, I think, that, oh, you've got fibroids. I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? What's the consequence of that and all of that? And he said to me, oh, don't worry about it. They're small, you'll be fine and whatnot. So I went about my business. I've been told something's there, but it's not cancerous, which is the big thing that you want to worry about. That's the impression we have, and I just went about my business. But it's not a good way to deal with someone who's got a condition, because honestly, you want a bit of guidance, you want to help your patient, inform them, educate them. Okay, what kind of food to eat more, what kind of food to stay away from. I mean, they might not be the expert in nutrition, but, kind of guide them to say, okay, seek help around nutrition, what kind of things to do. I mean, some kind of guidance, honestly. I mean, don't just tell someone that they're going to be okay, it's fine, they're small. And because these things grow, they increase in size. So anyway, so that's when I found out that I had fibroids. And I was...
Sorry to cut you. During this time, you were much younger, and were they drugs that were given to you, or how were you managing it after you had known already that you have fibroids?
No, I was just giving painkillers to just help with the bad, severe pain.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all. Nothing was given to me. It was just painkillers to help the pain. So, and I went about my business, ate everything, did everything, and got married late, and at about 30 started trying for children, and I realized I was having miscarriages, and I wasn't sure what, I think something was wrong with me, and I'm like, okay. So, but then I was living already in the UK, and I had a scan, and I was told, oh, yeah, you've been having miscarriages only because you have fibroids. And the doctor gave me an analogy of how two things are fighting, struggling for survival. So whoever wins is the one who stays. So it just means that all the times I've had the miscarriages, the fibroids won over the fetus. And that's why I had miscarriages. So I thought, okay, so what next? What am I supposed to do? I was scheduled to have a myomectomy, which is to take out some of the fibroids, But then as a believer, I started saying, God, okay, I was praying about it, and I was saying, God, you need to, next time I get pregnant, I want my baby to win over the fibroids, and all of that. And God answered my prayer. So at some point, because honestly, there's a place for prayer, but there's also a place for common sense.
Sure.
So you need to find a balance. You need to, and because as believers, it's a personal journey. You know Jesus for yourself, not what everybody's saying or somebody's saying. You need to know. Anyway, so I went and I was scheduled for my myomectomy, and during the pre-op check and all of that to make sure we're good to go for the surgery, appointed date for the surgery, and then it was discovered I was pregnant. And I was like, okay, we have to wait. We don't know if this is going to stay or it's going to, I was going to lose it. So I was blessed, fortunate, and I had a baby now. I have a beautiful 16-year-old, from that pregnancy. So, and after that, also tried for, of course, more children, and I had a few more, I think 3 more miscarriages before I had my son. And the miscarriage before my son was really advanced in age, and it was both emotionally, mentally. I mean, you can imagine, I was almost there. And I had a miscarriage, and it was really bad. I had to, anyway, not a good experience. So,
you know what? We'll go on a short break. When we return, you just tell us how you got rid of this finally.
Okay.
So we'll go on a short break. Healthwatch continues in a moment. Stay with us. Okay, if you're just joining us, the program is still Healthwatch, and our guest is still in the house. Our focus today is on fibroid. Our guest is Mrs. Toyin Taiwo, founder of Feminine Health and Fibroid Support Network Group. So before we went on the break, you had shared with us your journey, particularly all the pains and all of that, and most importantly for everyone out there, the successful delivery of your 2 babies. And here you are. You talked about the fact that when the pain became too overwhelming, what was the next thing you did?
For me, I mean, after my second child, my son, I mean, it was already my normal having heavy periods. So I just continued my life as normal, heavy periods, 7 days heavy, and I knew just managed it. So I was managing my period of menstruation, just knowing that okay, I'm heavy bleeding and all of that. But at some point, I wanted to go for healthier alternatives, especially around the milk and all of that, so I wanted to stop cow's milk. So I was looking for alternative. So I decided to take the option of soy milk. But for anyone who's got fibroids, soy milk is a no-no, or soy products, because but at that time I didn't know. So, and I'm a heavy coffee drinker, so I started drinking soy milk with my coffee every day, as many times as possible. And I noticed I started bleeding non-stop. I was bleeding for 2 years non-stop. If I had break, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 1 day here, 2 days there, and it was really bad, not good quality of life. And I just started looking for help. I was given combination of medication which had side effects, and something to just help stop or reduce the bleeding, because with the heavy bleeding that I was having non-stop, every other month I'll be in the hospital with blood transfusion, and all of that also had its own side effects, and because prolonged transfusion, had other things that it can cause and all of that. So I was at that point given the option of if the other combination was also giving me a side effect of migraine, landing in the hospital, having lumbar puncture, and so it was a lot. But so I had to. The only option I was given was then. Actually, initially at some point I was given embolization option, which I thought, okay, embolization is so like you cut the circuit, the vein or the whatever is supplying blood to the fibroids. You want to nip them, you just so they cut this supply, so that they can stop growing. But honestly, even though it was supposed to be a keyhole surgery, but at some point they then found out that because of the location of some of the fibroids, I couldn't even have embolization.
So the position and the size matters.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I couldn't have embolization at some point anymore. And the only other option I had was to have hysterectomy, which is take out my uterus. And being an African woman, I know I don't want to part with my uterus. I'm not going to give it up. Is there no other solution? But remember that I was losing a lot of blood and all of that. So at some point I had to make a decision, and like my life or keeping the uterus, And I had to go for, get rid of it if it's going to give me a better life, so my outcome was hysterectomy. But you see, I sit back in retrospect and I say I might not have had to go that way. That might not be my outcome if on this journey of fibroids somebody's educated me, or there's a place where I could have gone for a bit of handholding, a bit of signposting. Someone's talking about their situation or their experience, and I can learn, I can glean and say, oh, okay, actually, and it's amazing what we can do together as a group. Unlike and everyone keeps saying, oh, it's a lonely journey. I said, yes, it's a lonely journey because we're all in each different corners, not talking about it, and not issues. Especially also because of the culture where we come from. Everything must be on the hush, 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 and on the down low. No one's talking about it. It's like it's a taboo to even talk about things like that contains feminine health, so those are things that has not encouraged, those kind of, but as I was going through and I was at the point of even having hysterectomy, I was scared. I wasn't sure what
to be the outcome.
What is my life going to be? Because also remember that I've heard so many cultural things people said, oh, don't do, you can't do that. I've had a few of the religious biases too, oh, you can't do that, God's this, God's that. Like, you know what? But eventually it was, if as a believer, I'd rather keep my womb. I think it's foolishness. And honestly, the Bible says wisdom is a principal thing.
Yes,
and you need, absolutely, and you need to know when it's common sense. And you need to know when it's time for prayer. There's a place for both. But the place of prayer is important. It is key. But also we must know when to take the action, because even the Bible says that our faith with no works is dead. So we must know when to take action, to do stuff in conjunction with prayer, because prayer works. But we just pray and do nothing. And so it means that we haven't got faith, because show me your works and I will show you the faith that you've got. So anyway, on that journey, and I was scared. I was looking for somewhere to go where someone will say, oh, I've been through it. I'm not going to say it's easy, but you're going to be okay.
Because support, someone to encourage.
Yeah, some kind of encouragement, some kind of hand-holding. Because for me, remember that, I felt like I was isolated. I was alone in all of this. And what's my life going to be after picking out my uterus? I've heard someone say, oh, you'll be less than a woman. I had all kinds of things and thinking, okay, what will happen to me? Am I going to be feeling there's going to be a body change somehow that I would not feel like a woman anymore? I start to feel like a man. I didn't know what to expect. I had questions, honestly. I had questions, and I was like, oh my God, how is there no one anywhere, somewhere? And I was desperate. I was looking for a support network. I was looking for a group somewhere, some people who have gone through it and can say, you know what, I'm not saying it's not easy or it's not going to be painful, but you're going to be fine after it. That's all I needed to hear, and there was nothing. And for me, it was, and also pre-op, it's difficult. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but after the surgery, you better have somebody who is a good support system, which was what I had in my husband. And so, which is what birthed the hub, which is what birthed the charitable organization that we have, which is the Feminine Health and Fiber Support Network, to just support women, to educate women, to signpost women. In the hub we have gynecologists, medical doctors, people who can just answer women's questions, and other people share their experiences as well, which others can glean from. We're going through similar things. You might not be the same, but we have similar things that we're going through. You can learn from other people's experiences and know what to do, know what question to ask when you next go to see your gynecologist, and those kind of things. So that's why we started the hub. When I say honestly, it's not everyone's outcome or solution that's surgery. Sometimes you just need to change lifestyle. You just need to check the food that you're eating, see, because there are alternative medicine using food that can help you shrink, depending on how big they are and where they are and all of those kind of things.
Must go through surgery.
No, absolutely not. So just find what's your own solution. Find the options that you have and take the best one. Don't let everyone throw myomectomy, taking out the thing, because they grow back. That's only a temporary fix. Taking out the tumors is a temporary fix. They might go back. Most likely they will go back. So that's, well.
Wow. My director is giving me sign to run over. We don't have any time. We don't have enough time anymore.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on Healthwatch. We've been speaking with Mrs. Toyin Taiwo. She is the founder of Feminine Health and Fiber Support Network. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And that's much we can take on this week's edition of Healthwatch. A lot of take home today. And first is, she said wisdom is profitable to direct. So saying that sitting in your home and having this stigma or this cultural belief that, oh, nothing is wrong with me, I'm going to manage myself, when your life is at stake. Remember, on this program we'll keep preaching that health conscious people live longer. So if you have fibroids, please see your doctor, talk to them, express your fears to them, and let's see the best option. I'm sure they know the best option for you. For questions, for inquiries, please send a mail to okibinkem@gmail.com or NTA Lagos Channel 10@gmail.com, or send a text only to 07060865487. My name is Nkem Okibe. Join us next week for another interesting episode. See you then.